All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Navigating Leadership, the AP Roundtable number 5. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm AJ Bianco. I'm here with my guest hosts, Mike and Ryan. And tonight we are talking about passions, responsibilities, and the view from the AP chair. We are so glad that you can be with us tonight, or whenever you're watching this. We appreciate it. This is a targeted group here. We're looking for assistant principals. We're looking for aspiring leaders. We're looking for people who want to share some ideas and get this assistant principalship out there and hear some stories. So tonight we're gonna have a great conversation with some awesome people. So I'm gonna throw it over to my co-host Mike to tell you exactly what we're gonna do here.
Hey guys, how's everybody doing tonight? It's Mike Lavelle again, checking in with everybody. It's great to be back. Like I said, this is our 5th round table for the APs here, nationwide, right? All across the country, just getting together, talking with folks about what we do as assistant principals. So one of the things that we want to just talk about tonight is this concept of the AP position, right? What exactly is it in each different respective building, in each district, in each county? And for all of us here at the table, you know, we all have these different hats we wear, and we just want to kind of open that up to everyone and kind of what you do in your building. What are your primary roles and responsibilities in the building, your day-to-day, what you do every day? So Charlie, you're to my right. Why don't we go to you, Charlie, Tyson, Trinice, then Ryan, and back to AJ, and we'll just all talk about what we do and our roles and responsibilities primarily in our building and in our districts. Go for it.
Perfect. I'm Charlie Stone. I'm the assistant principal at City View Elementary here in Wichita Falls, Texas. My primary responsibilities, discipline, attendance, teacher grade book, where me and the other AP are in charge of the aides. We do walkthroughs, we do evaluations, we do ARDs, we do academic pep rallies, we do star pep rallies, but primarily it's discipline and attendance. On a typical day at City View Elementary, we try to make it a priority to every morning say good morning to the kids, say good morning to the faculty and staff, have those conversations first thing in the morning to try to build those relationships. And then it's all systems go. Whatever we have planned to go, it goes right out the window. We try to be as scheduled as possible. We meet Monday mornings, me, Rhonda, and Kristen, and we try to get a plan down of what we're going to try to do and accomplish during the week. Those are very helpful. But as you all know, when life happens, it happens. So, but we try to, as far as I take care of the discipline for 3rd through 5th grade, I split that with another assistant principal. We have approximately 500 kids on campus, K through actually Head Start through 5th grade. We also split the attendance. Me and the other AP pretty much split everything right down the middle. My first year at City View, it was me doing all the discipline at that time, we were Head Start through 6th grade. So I really all I did was discipline the whole time. And it was your little Fit Watch or whatever, your Apple Watch. I hit my goal by 10 a.m. I mean, one end of the hall to the other. I mean, it was nonstop. So, but this year helped so much as far as having another AP and splitting those responsibilities. As far as like curriculum goes, I don't really have a hand in that. We try to we have grade level meetings every Tuesday. So I try to make those as much as I can to try to get informed about the elementary curriculum. Because I'm a high school, middle school teacher that it's gone to the elementary scene. So I'm still learning everything as we go. So that's pretty much it for me.
Tyson.
My turn. All right, Tyson Garden. I'm in South Carolina. I think we are a carbon copy of each other. Both secondary guys. Our jobs sound very similar. I'm in a unique situation in my elementary school. Very new elementary this year. It's my first year in elementary. But I work in a complex. So there's 3 schools in one. 3 little small schools, schools of choice, if you will. I'm at a fine arts school. There's a technology school, and then there's a project-based or inquiry-based school in there as well. We all have our own administration, one principal, one assistant principal. Mm-hmm. We run our own schools, but we work together because some of the things that we do affects the whole complex. So we meet together as an administration, but we still run our own school, if that makes sense. Each school has their own culture. And even though we're all in the same building, we all have our own culture. We all have our own expectations, even though we're in the same district and all of that. But with that being said, I'm probably around about 400 kids from pre-K to 5th grade. So it's just the principal and I. That's our portion of the children. I do anything from, let's see, MTSS or RTI or whatever you want to call it. That's one of my main ones. Testing coordinator, of course, discipline. We have discipline, and other duties as assigned. Because as APs, we wear all the hats, and when they come,
for sure,
you just take whatever happens. I mean, if it's my principal and I talk, at the beginning of the year, it's not that she's excluding me. It's all right. I work with the big picture. You work day to day. So I'm day to day operations. I mean, classic middle management. Okay, between the boss and the teachers, that liaison. That's my role. But anything day to day, I got it. I already know it's my responsibility. That expectation's been set, and that's fine. But what we try to do as an administration now, just to give you a brief little history about what we both walked into as new administrators, her being a new principal, me being a new assistant principal, we're walking into this carousel of administration, the revolving door. So immediately we got to go in and build trust, and we got to build relationships, and we established from day one, okay, we're going to make rounds every day. I make sure I make my rounds every day. It's going to happen. That's non-negotiable. That's one of my non-negotiables. I speak to every single teacher every single day. Now, I start in the morning. Now, like Charlie said, if life happens, I go deal with life, but I'm going to make sure I go back where I left off, and I'm going to go speak. And it got to the point to where if they didn't see me by 8:15, it was like, hey, I was wondering if you were coming by. Did you get lost? I mean, because I usually make them around pretty quick, so see the kids. But the culture we wanted to establish is when you see the principal, it's not you're in trouble. It's, hey, there's the principal. Hey, that's the leader of our school. So that's really what. Even if I'm in there to get you because you're in trouble, but they don't, that's not the first thing they associate with me, which is what, we tried to establish. But just trying to, build a culture, because I don't think there was the culture that was there was, it was poor. And in their defense, they've been through 3 or 4 principals in the last 3 years. They've been through 5 APs in the last, 5 years. We had a teacher there that said, hey, you're my 5th AP. I've been teaching 6 years.
Wow.
And it's like, wow. Yeah. And I have 8, 9-year-olds saying, hey, yeah, you're like the 3rd or 4th dude I've seen in this job. And it's kind of sad, but you kind of want to establish, okay, that's my goal. This is why I'm here. I want to establish, give the school this stability, establish this culture. So maybe one day they can come back and say, hey, you remember me? Instead of I wonder if they're even there. We had our challenges this year, but we can get into that in a discussion. But that's basically the big role is day-to-day RTI, discipline, testing. Those are my big 3. And then whatever happens, whatever life is throwing at you that day, that's my role.
Nice, Tyson. Trinice, what do you got?
Man, I feel like I'm spoiled. Jeez. Man, all right. So, hey, everybody, I'm Trinice. I am a middle school assistant principal here in Portland, Oregon. So I'm going to talk from two perspectives. So I'm going to talk from the Houston, Texas perspective, and then I'm going to talk from the Portland perspective because I have two. So in Houston, I was a teacher specialist, which is just like an AP, except for I wasn't getting paid like that, nor did I have the title, but I did the exact same thing.
Oh,
Right. So I was hired to be over science and social studies. So I was just over instruction. And then we started the school year out and we needed a 6th grade AP. So I became the admin over 6th grade. So just anticipating someone else, coming in. And then that lasted for a while. And then we got a 6th grade AP. And then our 8th grade administrator got moved to another campus. And so then they said, you taught 8th grade, right? And I was like, I sure did. And they go, you're going to be over 8th grade to end the school year. So it was my very first year. COVID happened. So that was my first year. So now I am in Portland. This is going to be my first time in Portland. I started on July 1st of 2021. And I've already seen the differences between the two campuses. So in Houston, it was a Title I campus. Portland, it is not. So the level of planning and systems that went into Houston, I'm not experiencing that here in Portland. The roles and responsibilities I had in Houston were way more heavier than I'm currently seeing right now in Portland. Now, there could be differences as the school year starts to roll out, but there's clear differences. So in Houston, I was over everything: discipline, instruction, discipline some more. So I got tired of the discipline. So I started building relationships. I was like, oh no, I see you the problem. Here we go. Let me go learn about you. And so I became the admin that when kids saw me, they wanted to teach me something. Not that you're in trouble. It was like, all right, what you got for me? No. What you got for me? Like, what did you just learn in that class? Right? Like, tell me something new. And so I had kids inviting me to their classroom. So my schedule was bombarded with classroom experience. So the kids would be like, Miss, we're doing balloons in class today for science. Like they had to make a balloon. I was like, they're like, you're going to come by? And I'm like, okay, let me see what I could do. And I always, made it by because it was important. One time in science class, they were doing weather reports. And so I had them teach me how to do the weather patterns. And then I jumped in the green screen and I talked about the city that I'm from, Sacramento. They never knew what Sacramento was or where we were on the map. And so I got to teach them about that. And then I used what they taught me about the weather patterns and did my own new segment. And so it was used for their classroom. So that's what my role turned into, because I believe relationships are important. And I believe as APs, we get lost in the day to day and we don't think about how we can reframe our time to a positive, right? So, you have to go in that classroom already. What's your intention when you walk into that room? Is it to check a box or is it to make an impact? And every time I walked in, I made an instructional impact and I made a relationship impact because I wanted to be the support for my teachers. So I know who the struggling kids are. Y'all, when we walk in, we know. And do you know who I sat next to? That one. And I sat there and I was like one time I walked in, this kid was doing nothing. I was like, dang, bruh, my teacher didn't set you up for success. I was like, are you okay? Because I can handle your lightweight. I can handle my teacher. If they ain't giving you what you need. He was like, nah, he gave us this and he gave us this and he gave us this. And I said, so why's your paper blank? If he gave you all, I'm confused. Help me to understand. And at that moment, he realized, oh, my teacher did do a lot for me, right? And I wasn't doing what I needed to be doing. So I was going to handle your lightweight, but see, now I got to handle you. So go ahead and let's walk around and do this gallery walk together, right? So I don't remember what we learned. Oh, heredity, the eyes, like the eyes and all that stuff. I remember. So, I like to build relationships. Where my downfall was the paperwork. So my nights were always so long because my day, I believed in sound instruction and building relationships. And so now going into Portland, I'm learning how to balance and juggle the two because I want a healthy balance so that I can actually go home and not be bogged down because I did it all in the building.
Trinice, that's so important. I don't mean to cut you off. And before Ryan, I'm sorry. That's something that I struggled with last year. Like, I feel like the day is supposed to be like, I'm supposed to be with the kids. I want to be in the classrooms. That's what I'm supposed to do. Don't give me this paperwork. I'll do this later.
Right.
but then later all of a sudden it's 9 o'clock at night. And I'm like, oh, the
Correct.
paperwork. So
Right.
I see what you're saying. That's hard.
AJ, I had to build it into my calendar. Like, no lie. I was like, okay, so let me see my teachers. I don't really know struggling teachers during this period. All right, I'm going to block this in my calendar. And I'm going to say, this is my paperwork time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my calendar was shared with my secretaries. So I had secretaries. And so they knew. And so if a discipline problem came in, I have equipped you to handle this. If it's not a level 3, a level 4, where I got to sign a paper for this, not dealing with it. So I learned I had to pick and choose. Not all battles I need to fight. Some of the battles could be passed to your counselor. How are you effectively using your counselors?
Mhm.
How are you effectively using your support team? How have you equipped your teachers? So if you're having so many behavior problems, I feel like you need to go back and look at your systems at your campus. How are we handling this? Are the behaviors really that big, or have we not equipped our teachers with the proper protocols in their classrooms? Because we take that power away from them. Every time they send that kid out, that kid is like, oh, ain't got to listen to you. I'm just going to see Miss Brown. And then now I'm handling it. And then when they go back to the room, they're like, oh, okay, well, you ain't going to do nothing. I'm just going to go see Miss Brown. Now, I do handle it. 100% I do. Like, they don't want to see me. It's not a good thing, right? Because when I walk in, I want to know, why are you disrupting my learning environment? So they have to be accountable. My students are accountable for why they're disrupting the learning environment. And then I asked them, okay, so the next time a parent comes in and they're upset that their child is not getting the full 75 minutes of this instruction because of you, would you like to sit in this meeting with me and explain why you are disrupting their learning environment? So my kids knew every disruption was a disruption to my learning environment. That was the question I walked in with. Who is disrupting my learning environment? Because I needed them to understand that this is precious, valuable time. I started to see my discipline decrease. Now, obviously, we always have those 1s, 2s, 5, and 7. And those were a special case. But we get bombarded with a lot of stuff. And I would say you need to categorize these discipline issues and figure out where's the root of that problem. You might find you have a systems problem. And the system just needs to be fixed with the proper structures. And these are the things that I sit down and talk to my admin team about. Like, there's too many kids, first period out. What's the problem? You know what we found? The weak link. Okay, now we got to fix this system. So that's what I think about it.
All right, Ryan, beat that.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Bar, high, me, under it. But yeah, I'm going to try it. Thanks, Trinice. So at my school, I have quite a few hats that I wear as well. But I try to really be a student-centered AP. Kind of like Trinice said, like, all that paperwork, it's always people before programs. So the kids know that my office is if a kid wants to cuss, holler, rant, rave, they want to go off on a teacher, they come and see me, we talk. I have quite a few kids that come to me every day. And I pride myself that I know all 700 of my kids by name. And for the most part, if somebody wants to know about their home life or what's going on with that kid's life, they know to come talk to me. Because like what Trinice said, most of the time the behaviors can be negated just because they know I'm going to talk with them. We're going to dig down to the root. We're going to figure out what's going on and hopefully find some resources. But other than that, I'm in charge of keys at my school, which is funny to say, but we have had 3 different renovations of our school, and for whatever reason, they never changed the locks. So we have 4 different sets of keys. And so it's my job to figure out what key goes to what door and make a spreadsheet. And yeah, it's ridiculous. And then other than that, I keep I don't know if you guys use Infinite Campus at your school, but Infinite Campus is a student information system. And one of the things that you can do is it uses a program to predict which kids are going to drop out. And so, so every month I compile that list and I keep tabs on every single one of those kids, check in with them every day. Our teachers know who those kids are. So if some profound life event happens, we are the first to know. So I like to say I'm a student-centered AP, but the other stuff obviously has to happen when it has to happen.
Yeah, I think I kind of fall into the same realm there. You know, I consider myself a student-centered AP, and as a middle school vice principal or assistant principal, whatever the term you feel like using, I love being with the students. I love being in the classrooms. I kind of pride myself on instructional leadership and professional development. That's something that I'm passionate about, and I bring my passions to the school, and that's what I want to improve. You know, I continuously say that in the classroom, my thing was building relationships with students. So I'm doing the same thing now. You know, I don't want to just take this title and say I'm above everything else, because that's not what I believe in. You know, I feel like this is like servant leadership to the fullest, that I'm there to help in any way that I can. So I'm going to be there with the kids. I'm going to be there with the teachers, and I'm going to make sure that their day is fun and exciting, and the learning is intense. You know, of course, I have to deal with discipline. I got to deal with paperwork. I got to deal with nonsense, you know, bus arrival, dismissal, all that stuff. You know, so we all have our small jobs. But I think, you know, I'm going to say I'm pretty lucky. You know, Trinice, you were saying that you definitely feel spoiled. I feel spoiled because I'm taking over an assistant principal role for the person who now is the principal, and he was in this seat for 8 years. This was his first year, now starting his second year as a principal. So I think, you know, I'm kind of lucky in that he knows everything so well, so that he still wants to do some of the things he did as an assistant principal. So now, not only am I learning this thing, I'm now learning it, and I have somebody hands-on with me that is kind of showing me the ropes. So my responsibility is more like a team effort. You know, if it's discipline, he'll give me the hint, be like, okay, here's what I would do in the situation. You go do what you think is right. So I feel very lucky that I have that support, and I'm glad that we can do this kind of hand in hand. You know, we have 600 kids, only the two of us, you know, and we use our counselors well. We can use them better, and I think we will going forward. But we have a tremendous staff who you know, puts learning at the forefront, and we put relationships at the forefront. And I got to be honest, the culture and the climate of that building is only going to get better. And I think that I really fell into a good pile of goodness. So I'm very happy.
Yeah, I'm also at the middle school level here in Massachusetts. This is my 10th year, going on 11th year as an AP here in Mass. And I've seen a lot of different things that, you know, kind of come through, but this middle level is where I need to be. I taught 6th grade history prior to that, you know, for 8 years right here in my hometown in Ludlow, right? So, and, you know, prior to that, I was the, socialization counselor for Tri-County Youth Program. So all of our clients were from the Department of Mental Health and Department of Social Services. So you gain this perspective of what kids really need. And like you said, Trinice, you know, the ones that I'll bend over backwards for these kids. They got it. And once they know you got their back, they're going to at least try for you. And that's all I ask. So it's in my position, it's, you know, 367 kids this year. We got one principal, my principal, myself as the AP, and two guidance counselors for our building. So that's kind of the makeup. And, you know, safety, security, climate, culture, discipline, and the communication that comes along with that, the day-to-day daily operations, Tyson, like you said, is 100%. And Charlie, that's where we're at, right? That's what we do from arrival to dismissal, all the lunches in between, and everything that comes along with that, right? So, and you know, we had a segment about supporting teachers, and that's what we do. Tyson, when you said, well, I hit the floor, as soon as all that's over and the morning announcements are done, I'm on the floor. Those steps are met. There's no doubt about it. 10,000 by lunchtime, not even a question. I try to make it, like you said, especially after vacations or like long weekends or anything like that. Got to come in and at least say hello to everybody. Welcome back. It's good to see everyone. That's part of the climate and culture. I want to be visible out there in the community, not in the classroom community, but in the building community as well. Right. So we got this concept, Trinice, I can't believe it. It's the same line I use in my office, the same line. Please don't, I tell my students all the time, please don't tell your story in such a way where you're not accountable or responsible for anything, because that's not why you're down here. You're down here because you're just, and then they start to talk, and then I'm like, you're down. Okay. So you're disturbing the learning environment. So that's where we went wrong. Everybody's got a right to learn here. And that's what you can't do. That's the part where you went wrong. So what are we going to do next time? We make a plan. We get ourselves together. You got removed from class. And as protocol, like you said, the systems piece, I put it in a situation, implemented a system where if you're removed from classroom behavior prior to lunch, you got lunch detention with me that day. If you're removed after lunch, as protocol. I'm not saying this is going to solve the problem, but as protocol, you're removed for discipline or behavior. You got after lunch, you got lunch detention the following day. So they know, and teachers know I got their back that way. So you can, I love the restorative practices piece. So I'd rather, they're going to have detention. If you're okay with that, lunch detention with me, there's an immediate consequence. If you feel that you want to, now you're going to contact home as part of the protocol too, but also you're going to issue an office or a teacher detention. That's going to help restore your relationship as well. You're going to be one-on-one with that kid. I have office detentions at my disposal too. So if I issue the office detention, now my relationship is getting better with them, right? Lunch detention, my relationship is getting better with them. Teacher detention, teachers getting better with them, right? And just like we all mentioned before, as soon as they're sent down to my office, now I have the power, right? We have the power. I want my teachers to have the power. I want to empower them with what they need. My teachers are great about not sending me those level 1 and level 2s. I can say that about everyone in my building. They do not send me the kid that's not doing his work. That would, when I first, like I said, I came from a situation where Tri-County Youth Programs was a different sort of environment. I had kids that had diagnoses and, all that sort of thing. And it was like, you sending me to me for what again? Like, he's not doing it now? Okay. Like, and? Wait a minute. All right. So we had to do a little bit of work, but they're really, really good at it. And I, like I said, I feel lucky, like AJ, like you guys are saying too, I feel lucky in that respect, veteran teachers and on that level.
Yeah.
All right. So we've been talking about what we've been doing for our responsibilities and what the assistant principalship looks like. So if you're out there and you're looking to become an assistant principal, that's something that you have to do. And I think Tyson hit it best. It's the responsibilities otherwise needed, right?
Other duties as assigned.
Duties as assigned, right? Exactly. Like I said, setting up graduation, moving picnic tables. These are just some things that I was this year measuring classrooms. Like, these are all things you have to do.
Sometimes you have to rope off the sliding board. I mean, if I got to put caution tape out there, all kinds of things.
Whatever.
You have to go to performances that aren't going to be good, and you have to smile from ear to ear and say, "Go, baby, go!"
Yep.
I've changed tires in the parking lot.
You got to go to games when your team is getting slaughtered.
Pushing the car out of the parent pickup line. Come on.
Yeah.
Pushing the car out of the parent pickup line. It's the best. Like, okay, put it in neutral. Here we go.
But then what we also get to do? We get to go to Walmart and buy clothes for kids that come to school without. We get to go pick up lunch for a kid that's earned it. We get to. So those are some of the, I love the AP spot because there is some flexibility and there is a little ambiguity. Like, you can make your day how you want it, unless you've got one of those.
Unless you got one of those. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, sometimes it's one of those 1%ers. Yeah.
All right. So
I think my favorite. I think my favorite thing as an AP was grabbing the mic and celebrating kids. Like, if it was their birthday, like I knew it was your birthday, we're gonna sing you happy birthday. If I knew you just did great on that last test, I'm gonna celebrate you. So I also kept in the hallway posters, like district level assessments. And I had two. I had the superstar poster, and then I had the greatest come up, because we always forget about the kids that grow. Right. And so, like, one time I remember I posted them in the hallway, and a kid like walked by and was like, "That's my name." And I was like, "That is your name." Like, and so, building that, like, data matters. Kids need to know data matters. I think that's our job, to breathe a bridge between the teacher and the student.
Yes.
On how powerful that data is. Right. Like, I had data conversations in the hallway. It was important. I knew a teacher gave a test. How'd you do on that test? Like, what can you do better? Like, what areas do you need support? How are you going to go ask your teacher this? Right. So I started equipping them with things to ask their teacher for help, because guess what? They don't know. They don't know how to do it. So it was my job to teach you. I'm going to give you all the skills you need to be great. Don't worry about it.
Not only that, though, you just said, I see you. You're not the top student, but I see you. I see what you're doing. That's right. I mean, that's a relationship builder right there. I see you.
All these. Yep. And in the state of Texas, all these small tests is just part of the marathon. That real finish line is the star. So when you start to get nervous towards star, I could go back and say, but wait a minute, didn't we grow from here to here to here? So what you nervous about? It's just another thing you got to do. And they're like, wait, I did, because the reality is some of us are talking to kids who have never passed a test a day in their life. And you're going to encourage them how? If they don't see their own success, you telling them going to the next grade, clearly it's not meant anything, right? So now the question is, how can you, AP, how can you encourage them? How can you get your teachers to encourage them? Because each test is part of the race. It's just a piece of the puzzle to either impact a student's confidence or to subtract from it.
Well said.
Yeah, like now you've seen and heard every day, Ryan. Right on. That is spot on. Everybody wants to see. All the kids want to be seen, valued, and heard every day. That's perfect.
That's right.
All right. Here's what I want you guys to do real quick. I want to go around one more time before we end this thing. I know we're at 30 minutes, and I really don't care because this conversation is really doing well. So if you're listening out there, stay with us. Stay with us. Here's what I want, and we can change it up afterwards if you want to. What is one thing that you're focusing on this year or the upcoming year that you are going to make your thing? What are you bringing to your school this year that's your biggest passion? And I'm going to throw it out there. Somebody grab it. Who is it?
I'll grab it.
You got it.
This year was MTSS for me, RTI. We're transitioning to that. It's already one of my responsibilities anyway. So why not make it mine? And just putting my strengths into it with people. I'm going to use people. I'm going to lead people to make our systems better. You got these, struggling kids that are going through interventions. But is it all academic? No, we got to use counselors. We got to use nurses. We got to use, the teachers. If you can make a positive environment for a kid, then, academics will come. It'll come. And just like Trinice does, I see them. As long as they know that you see them and you got their back every day, then they're going to perform for you. They're going to perform regardless of what the national norm says. But where did you come from? That's what's important for me. Where are we going? Don't worry about where we are. Don't worry about what somebody says. Hey, you're not good enough because you're not here. That doesn't mean anything. Where are we going? What are we trying to do? I'm just trying to bring more intentionality to what we're doing with our students. Are we really focusing on the kid and what's best for them as a unit, as a school community? That's really what I want to take. One of my responsibilities that I already have and just take the passion that I have for people and just make it my thing. That's really just what I want to do. I feel like it's just easy and organic because I already have to do it anyway. So let's just be good at it.
I love that.
I like that.
I like that.
I think mine is making learning visible.
Oh.
So I want to have a good balance between teacher input and student output. Like I want to make sure that our teachers are thinking about how are our students processing this knowledge and making it a product. So I think one of my big things is going to be really helping students to process their knowledge, whether it's in the hallway or it's in the classroom, but really looking at this idea of teacher input and student output, because the person that's doing the most talking in the room is the one that's doing the most learning. So we have to go back to what Tyson said. His last word was intentional, right? So we have to intentionally get our teachers to intentionally plan for a good balance of teacher input and student output. So how are we doing this, right? Like, how are we planning? And if I'm noticing that my classrooms have an imbalance of input and output, how can I talk to that teacher? What can I do to bring to the table? And so it's going to be a lot of listening and really trying to infuse student output, which then leads to student voice.
That's awesome.
I want to piggyback off of that.
Go for it.
All right. So yeah, you reminded me of something, that student voice. And, at my school, I'm not one of the instructional leaders. However, I do have a caseload of teachers that I check in with every other week, and I've got a couple of them that are I think they're crazy enough to try one of my crazy ideas. So this year I want to pull out I want to create this matrix of the 5 C's because we know our kids so much, and especially our workforce is asking for those 5 C's. But what I would like to do is push a couple of my teachers that are willing to do so to intentionally embed as many of those in their lessons each week. So on Monday, letting me know which of these 5 C's are you going to be hitting that week, and seeing just to see what happens if we're more intentional on the 5C aspect. And so in a way, I'm pushing myself into that curriculum realm that I am not super involved in. And then the second thing I'm going to do, I'm going to start a club called the 530 Club. So I am at the school.
That sounds too early.
Yeah. I'm at the school every morning at 5:30 working out in the weight room, and I want to identify some of my kids. It'd be guys that just need a man to talk to and to build them up and to talk about stuff over loud music and weights. I'm a firm believer in mentor programs. I had the privilege of working with juvenile offenders for about 5 years through a local drug court. And so I want to kind of bring that into my high school and be more intentional with some specific kids that, we already know before school starts who are the ones that are probably going to have some issues this year. So let's get out front with it and let's see what we can do.
Ryan, make sure you have them take showers. We already have issues. And if that can be part of your plan, and tell them Axe is not the solution, please. And tell a friend, put it on Instagram, put it on TikTok. Axe ain't the answer. Sorry, Charlie. Go ahead.
I think that's more a middle school problem.
That's the no funk policy. Can't put the funk in the classroom.
You like, oh, what is that? Let me talk to you on the side. Come here.
Take it away.
I think celebrations, we've done some PD this summer. I think making celebrations a priority and a focus when it comes to your students and your teachers, I'm trying to, I think Tyson said it earlier, when people feel valued, they work harder for you, if you celebrate them and then they'll put forth more effort. Trinice said it too about the kids that, the growers in your classroom, the kids that grow, those low kids that need to grow or the high kids that need to grow. When you're having those conversations with teachers and meetings and PLCs or leadership meetings or grade level meetings, having conversations about students and being in the classrooms and being visible and seeing those students and seeing those successes and celebrate it through social media, celebrate it through in your hallways, pick up the phone and call the parents and have the students in the room with you, have them call their parents and make a positive phone call. You guys probably know handling with discipline when you have those frequent flyers and they're like, oh no, coach, what they do now? I was like, no, it's a good thing,
This is a good call.
Yeah. So, and if you celebrate kids, that builds relationships with the families, with the parents at home, builds relationships. And that's the biggest piece is relationships. So I think focusing on celebrations in the classroom, even outside of the classrooms, our kids are involved in extracurriculars, the football, baseball, bat sports, whatever, choir, talent show, and just celebrating the little things like that and academically. And that's one thing that I really want to focus in on this coming year.
That's awesome. I remember one kid I called home and he came back the next day with a new pair of shoes. I said, when you get those? He said, you called my mom last night. And she was just so happy. I said, well, tell her I need a pair, size 6.5. I'll wear some J's. But it makes a difference. It does. I support you, Charlie. I can't wait to see how you build those relationships and what ideas I could steal from you.
That's why we're doing this.
No doubt. So I think for me, I definitely think that achievement, like we're talking a lot about achievement and things like that, as far as achievement follows culture. It's not the other way around. When you build a culture in your building and kids are happy to be there and want to be in your building, they're going to perform. It's just going to happen. So what I want to do is I want to really listen to student voice and I want to act on it, and I want to act for it. We started this esports program right before COVID hit, and I could only open it up to 1 grade level. My STEM teacher, awesome. She's like, I'll be the coach. I played World of Warcraft for the past 13 years. I could totally do these. Somebody's jam is going to be out there, right? Art club, same thing. My art teacher, awesome. She started our art club. She had to run 2 sessions because she had so many kids that just wanted to do this. All of that got stripped from these kids. They just taken away in like overnight. So that social aspect, everyone, the big buzzword is SEL, right? Social emotional learning, right? The emotions are always going to be there. The learning is always going to be there. The social aspect is what has been, I think, taken away from these kids. And that's what I want to really listen to, focus in on it, and figure out exactly what they're needing and what they want. I know they want esports back, art club back, music. I want their concerts, the musical, right? The play. They want all those things back. And when you have it and you haven't had it for a while, you can really use that to leverage in the classroom. Like, listen, this is something that we offer. We've proven this year that learning can happen anywhere, right? But school is a special spot to be in. It's a community. It's a place where we can represent school. Our sports are coming back, right? Basketball, track, all these things that most of our kids come to school for. I hate to burst anybody's bubble, but they're not coming for the core subjects. Let's be honest, right? They're coming for.
Well, hold on, wait. They came from my class. I don't know about yours, but they was coming for 8th grade U.S. history. I don't know. Speak for yourself.
So listen. Okay, so what they want to come from, and what they, what they're coming for is definitely we gotta plug in. We gotta take that live wire of what they want and what they need, and make those clubs happen and make those things happen. How do we do that? We empower our teachers to run these clubs. You just gotta ask. So it's going to be somebody's jam. Somebody's going to want to teach these kids after school that 1 day a week that you had no idea that they were that good at. I don't know, whatever it might be, flying drones. You tell my kids they can fly a drone, they'll line up around the block. Mm-hmm. Like, these are the things that we just need to take a look at and really kind of focus in on, and then give that back to them. And then the achievement will follow. And all of our core subjects will be killing it, Trinice.
Yeah, I think for me, I'll end it off. I'm looking for some kind of PBIS into my school, that positive behavior interventions and support. I'm not looking to go full-fledged PBIS. I'm just looking to bring some kind of positivity into the school where we are working together to have a strong culture where we're supporting each other in a way that, our kids are doing something on the weekend. They're winning championships. They're acting, they're dancing, they're singing, they're doing these things that nobody knows about. And I want to kind of bring about this positivity where we're giving kids the props they deserve for things that we don't know. And then in return, the kids are recognizing teachers for the things that they're doing. So I'm trying to find a way to bring that in so that we all are on the same page, that this is our school. We're helping each other in some kind of way. We're keeping it positive. We're keeping it light. They're going to support me. I'm going to support them, so on and so forth. So, I'm looking for this PBIS. Again, I know there's so many different levels for PBIS. There's different tiers. I'm not there yet. I want to start slow. I want to start with this positivity. They had something in the school called pat on the back, which is kind of faded out a little bit. So I'm looking to bring that up in a different way. So that's where I'm going, and I'm excited to bring that. So if any of you guys are doing anything like that, bring it this way.
Absolutely.
That's good.
All right. So we are 40 plus minutes in, and I could keep going, but I know you guys. I know you guys got to get out of here. I know people are listening, and I don't want to keep everybody too long. But we appreciate everybody here, everybody listening, viewing, watching, whatever you're doing. This crew right here, thank you so much coming together. Tyson, Trinice, Charlie, you guys really brought some great energy tonight. And if you're out there listening, follow these people on social media because they are bringing some fire, because that's how I found them. So follow. Tag them. We're going to have them back here for another episode because we have so much more we can tackle.
Oh,
with that,
yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Good night.
Have a good rest of the day.
Thanks,
Have
guys.
a good one, guys.
All right.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Guys.